Hi guys and welcome back, and today we're looking at dominant 7th chords. So we have the major 7, the minor 7. Now, what happens when we kind of blend the two? The dominant 7th happens. It's like the worst joke you've ever heard in your life. Major 7th plus minor 7th kind of equals dominant 7th, but we'll go through this, okay? Because the fact that we've now got 4 notes basically means we can expand our chord repertoire, okay? And this is when dominant 7th comes out. Now, you probably haven't necessarily heard of the term dominant, but if you ever see just like A7 or B7 on a chord chart, that's a short term for dominant 7, okay? We'll go through that now, okay? And dominant 7th chords are massive in the worlds of blues, jazz, funk. These are the kind of chords that are not quite resolved. They always feel like they need to go somewhere, and therefore they're perfect in those kind of genres, okay? So let's just talk about what a dominant 7th is. So first of all, like I said, you're only going to see this. In shorthand, you're just going to see 7, okay? It's not Dom 7 or D7 or anything, it's just 7, okay? But of course, what that means is, and I'll write it out here, dominant 7th. Okay? So, what is a dominant 7th chord? In terms of its formula, it looks something like this. Okay? So it's 1, 3, 5, and then flat 7. Okay? So let's just talk about that concept for a second. Okay? Just like we've done with all of these, okay, and I'm just going to pop this in here. Boop, 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 boop. We kind of think of the chord as in 2 halves, okay? We've got the triad and then the 7th that we add, okay? Now the first thing we notice with dominant 7th chords is that we've got a major triad. So the 1, 3, 5, this is a major chord, simple as that, okay? However, when it comes to adding the 7th, instead of adding the 7, the natural 7, we add the flattened 7th, which is pulled from the minor 7th chord or the minor scale, okay? So what this kind of gives us in a roundabout way is a major with a bit of a minor in it, okay? So it's a major chord with this minor element, and therefore you get like a hybrid chord, okay? And that in itself creates a chord with a bit more tension, a bit more lack of resolve, because it's not one of these perfect major or minor sounding chords, okay? So all of this stuff that I'm talking about now has come from years of listening to these chords and playing these chords in various different genres of music and working out what the actual function of this chord really is, okay? And the more you understand that with your ears, the better you're going to get on with theory as well, because after a certain point in theory, your ears are going to really kind of take over and start to guide you, okay? So let's go through and do an A dominant 7, okay? So like I said here, an A7 will be written like that, A7, which basically means A dominant 7th, okay? So now we can see very clearly what your 3 7th chords are going to look like when you read them on a chord chart. So let's put this together, okay? So we know we've got the 1, 3, and 5 to start with, so that's A, C sharp, and E, okay? So let's just pop that in there, A, C sharp, and E. Now, what's the 7th? It's a flattened 7th, so it's going to be a G instead of a G sharp. Okay, so G. Okay, so let's just put a little line in between these so we kind of can see them clearly separately, hopefully. Now, there we have it. We've got an A, a C sharp, an E, and a G. Okay, what I want you to do is to put this on the guitar. Okay, so just as we've done with all the others, try and find these 4 notes, place them on the guitar and have a listen. Now, please pause the video if you want to do that and take some time doing that. And of course, once you've found the shape for these, which we go through in all the guitar skills sections if you don't know it yet, then of course you've got the shape to move up and down to find A7 or B7 or C7 or whatever it is. But always try and remember the theory side of it when you do them from now on in, okay? So again, the sound for me is a little unresolved. It works perfectly in blues. Your kind of 3-chord blues is all based around 7th chords. All the lead work is all based around 7th chords. And because of that, you know, you get this totally unique sound, which is awesome. Okay, so understanding this theory here, if you're a blues fella and you really enjoy playing blues music, this is almost going to be the key behind everything, okay? Understanding, you know, how to use both major and minor scales, specifically pentatonic scales over the top of the chords, you know, what arpeggios to play and everything else. Just this basic concept of knowing that that's how you construct a dominant 7th chord is going to get you a long, long way, okay? So, here's your task now, guys, because in the next lesson, we're going to be doing a little test again, just to kind of make sure that you've got this stuff in your head and you can get it in your head quickly. So just go through this and memorize this and make sure you've got the 3 different types of 7th chords understood, and I will be testing you next time.